Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everybody can hear me all right. Yeah, I figured I'd toss it up there, see how it works out. Somebody had, and the somebody being my wife, had said she would have loved to be able to see the palette, so I was like, why the hell not? Luckily, a friend of mine had some extra webcams that they weren't using, so I got to set up the SIF cam and the palette cam. So we'll see how it works. In the meantime, let me do this real quick. Add video capture, add source. Kit cam. Because, I mean, why not, right? We'll see if she sticks around there. I'll try and keep it on her. I know. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. Okay? Thanks. All right. So, my thought, I had a silly thought when I was looking for some sort of color inspiration. I put this little thing up. It's a flamboyant cuttlefish. Like, I literally looked up flamboyant and the next thing in line was cuttlefish, and I was like, give me that. That'll be Scanlan. Make sure he's in focus. He is not. He is not. Where is... Nope. Where is... Nope. Where is... Nope. I need to find... Where is... I got too many cameras. Okay, palette shot, right? Nope, that's the wet palette shot. Face cam frame is up there. Video capture device. Is that this guy? Oh, yeah, more or less. Let's see if I got the right one. Yes. Okay. Let's get you right about here. Apply. Okay. Done. Okay, so we're gonna do some base coats because I'm gonna need to put some foundation over the man, these are ancient. Both of these are super old. I'm gonna start with the stone, Deneb stone. Cutting off top of my head. And this stuff, I'm not going to put on the wet palette to start because it's foundation paint and it's old and super thick and just going to take up a whole bunch of space while I try to reconstitute it. Plus, I'm basically just going to be putting it on his skin. What's everybody listening to this evening? Other than me, do you have any music on the side or anything like that? I have to figure out. My next step is figuring out my mixer so that I can record different audio at least separate out audio so I don't record it. Because I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube if I am listening to Pandora on random thumbnail radio and something comes on that someone's going to get offended by. I got 2 hours, so I'm bound to come across something somebody won't like. No. No Clash winnings here. The 5 people that we still have playing, which includes myself, don't do that. I don't think we're hardcore enough. Scanlan's got a really weird face, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they exaggerated the hell out of his smile. Like, it's weird. RimWorld soundtrack. Is it something that I could? Is it like a open source, not open source, but public domain kind of thing, or would I have to reach out to them and get permission to do it to not get super duper in trouble? 2 clicks, hit the camera twice. Yes, she has. She left. Got it. Viable is good, I suppose. I don't necessarily want to listen to it every time, though, because I'll get kind of bored with it quick. I mean, part of it's for you guys, but part of it's for me because I don't hear anything other than my space heater. So I need some sort of music going on. So I'm just being sort of slapdash with the foundation paint. I just want to get the fingers covered. I'm not too worried about what I'll be going over later. There we go. The camera might have been, my light might have been a little too bright. Okay. I think that's all the skin he's got. I'm just going to use that for the skin. It's a light color. It'll go on and it'll allow the skin to stick. You let me know if you see Sif again. She might come back. She knocked my door open, though. Still a little cold in my basement. Yes, I'm in my basement. I am that guy. It's true. You're absolutely correct. I will let you guys know if I see her again, because sometimes she comes back. Okay, adjust. Just gonna give it all a purple base coat. Oh God, they made the Mini have a huge package. I hadn't looked in that particular direction. You back? Go hang out? You can if you want to. You let me know where you're going to sit and I'll put the camera on you. Yeah, well, that's true. I guess it's all a matter of perspective, right? Again, just going over the stuff that needs to be purple. Or close to purple. Ooh, hopefully my daughter isn't making too much noise upstairs so that she comes across on the microphone. What you doing, kitten? I might be able to turn the SIF cam back on. Three bumps. Bump the camera again. Essentially, what this is, it's almost like I'm priming him with this foundation paint. That's all. I'm just trying to be a little careful. And it's nice because it's not necessarily primed in a weird color that's going to make it difficult. Like, it's not going to be black primer and I need lighter colors, or white primer and then I need to make sure that I get every last little crack. Because if you do it in white and you miss a spot when you're painting, it's very, very easy to notice. It's one of those things where you'll like try and reach all the spots, and then you'll be looking at it and there'll be something way in a corner or a crack, and it's going to be super hard to get without bumping into some other paint. You've already finished the miniature and you're like, this sucks. Okay, get around y'all. Medium package. Small person. Are those? I think those are going to end up being tuning pegs on the wire. I think it's funny that they put this on his back when I don't recall him ever having played it. I suppose he might have. But it's supposed to, you know, signify that he's a bard. He's got his instrument. Yeah, it's true. I suppose. Me and my closet Stratocaster. Alright. And before I go anywhere else, because I know it's required on the bottom of these minis, I'm just going to put some foundation paint down here, because I know I'm going to need to get there eventually, and I might as well do this so that it dries up. And also, it'll get all over my fingers, like it already has. Alright, I'll give that just a second. Dry up a little bit, and then we'll start working on his face, because his face is ridiculous. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday night? I happily finished up my Abaddon the Despoiler commission and handed that off yesterday. The client was very happy about it, so that always is a good thing. I feel like it went well, but when you hand it off to somebody, they have to feel like it went well as well. Alright. I don't need this. I'll close this up. Doesn't need to get any drier than it already is. You sticking around, Fluff? You sticking around? That's a kitten butt right there. No guarantee she's gonna stick around. I'm getting more little pictures all over the place. I've got the one down here now, and the one below it down here, and then the one over there, and now the other one over there. Okay, so, oh, that's a bright cuttlefish. Let's see. Light blue, purple, dark blue, yellow, friggin' pink. Okay, this will be fun. This will be fun. So we're gonna start with the skin tone. I'm gonna use this one. It's pale flesh. And then we're going to get onto the paint palette. I'm just going to put a dab of it right here. Does not need to be a big dab. That's actually probably more than enough for the entirety of this guy. We'll refer to him as not Scanlan. Just going to spread it out a little bit. No, it's already taken. We don't want to get them confused. All right, let's get in here. Oh, I can see his teeth. I can see his teeth in there. This is going to be a pain in my behind. Five hits. Hit the camera again. Here. He's got some hair going on down here. Bit of a big eyebrow. I'm going to make sure this is nice and wet. I don't want it to be chunky. I've got some extra water on the palette that I'm going to kind of mix in a little bit, spread it out. Get some more in the bristles. He's so weird.
It really is. His face is kind of wigging me out a little bit. That grin is unusually large. It's reminding me of the leprechaun from that horrible horror movie. How are we doing? Should I adjust the focal point? I think we can work with that. Get his hands. Again, I want to keep it really wet. Trying to get down here. The pommel of his sword is in the grip of his fist. His fingers aren't too terribly long, so it's a little tricky. I don't know what that is right there. That says finger. Might be a finger. The pommel in the open fist right there, actually. It's his thumb. Pulling some of the water out. I turned the autofocus off. Should not be. Yep. There's a little bit of a mold line along his hand, which is going to make things kind of tricky to make it smooth, but we'll figure something out. Work around the back side of his hand, and again, I'm not going to worry too much if I get it on the sleeve initially, because I will be painting over that section later. Just want the paint to be smooth. If I have to go over it multiple times, that's fine. You just want to make sure your undercoats are as smooth as you can get them. Feel like might be a little bit better. Just adjusting the position of the light. So I'm going across the back of his hand, This is a very visible spot, so again, being careful. You see right here, this bit is a line. It's actually a mold line. So, and it's super hard to drop those down, to file them down on fingers because it's going across a texture. If it goes across a texture, then you're kind of out of luck. It's not like I can drag a file across it effectively without really grinding up the knuckles. But I think we'll be okay. You're so weird. Alright, how big are your eyes? I think not big enough to worry about is the answer on that one. I'm going to do a quick flesh wash. Again, small sections, don't need a whole lot. I'm still going to use the detail brush because I want it to tuck into the grooves more than anything else. I don't mind if it gets into the mouth. I do want to make sure I get a good chunk of it back here. Just make sure I get it pretty liberally over everything so that it gets into the grooves that we want it to get into. It definitely needs some more back here. His face is all creepy. He does. He looks like the damn leprechaun. I think pale flesh might be too light. But we'll see what we can do with it. See if it's wandered off. Okay. Question is, do I base it? What's going to be the dark purples and the dark blues? I think everything under is going to be yellow. and potentially pink, because this in here is a checker pattern. And if I do these yellow and pink alternating, I think it'll look amazing. And then I think, is his shirt open? It is. Okay. Okay. He's got his shirt wide open. That's not an undershirt. That is tiny halfling pectoral muscles. So let's get the base coat skin there. Let that dry for a sec. Get a little bit of that ink out of there so that it's not so difficult to wait for it to dry, because I'm going to have to put another coat on anyhow. And let's get in to the pinks and the yellows. We'll be using this one and that one as bases. Gold yellow, warlord purple. Very small dot of the yellow. Now, my plan is to first start with a very, very, very small amount of this. And we're going to get the small bits on this side. So I'm going to take this and roll it on my palette for a second. Try and get the point as sharp as I can get it. So I want this tiny little bit here. And then this tiny little bit here. And then this tiny little bit here. Then I want this one. And I want this one. And I want the one on the other side. This one right here. Gonna need a little bit more because that was drying up. Spread it out just a little bit on the edge of the palette. And let's see, let's make these, I'm gonna leave those alone for the moment. I'm gonna leave those alone for the moment because these are gonna be the bigger ones over here. So I want to try and get the larger diamond and then the big diamond at the bottom of the pants and the one up in the groove and then this one right here, which is kind of right in the middle, so is this one, And just get a dot up in there for that. And then back here, I'm going to aim for the ones up underneath. Just kind of dab it. Dab it, dab it, dab it. Because I'm going to hit some other points with it as well soon, so don't worry too much about it. We're going to get this one. Yeah, and that'll be all you can really see there. And I think that one's going to be bright pink. Can I see any in here? Yes, so let's get this corner. Probably that corner. Okay. Just to start, grab the purple. It's one of my favorite purples to paint in because it is so ridiculously bright. All right. So now that I've got the little ones there, I'm going to get the bigger purples. And we're going to go over the corners of the smaller yellows just to make sure we're all diamond shaped. Like that. Getting the very corners down here, just a little dab. Get the very corners over here because there's just a little bit sticking out. Just getting the paint on the diamond sections so that you can see it. I'm going to kind of let it work its way around on the big diamonds. This purple also goes on really well. The Warlord purple from Vallejo is pretty slick. Coats pretty well. There. I want a little more of the yellow now that I see exactly where all the purples are. Oh, there's too much on that brush. That's going to cause trouble. Super teeny point, and let's brighten this one up a touch. Make sure I got this one, make sure I got this one. Make sure those are all set. what I'm going to do is once I'm finished with these colors, I'll hit them with the next stage up slightly lighter just to get the dots kind of jumping out a bit more, because I'm going to go up to a very, very bright color. We're going to go to the brightest pink in the box because it pretty much matches that crazy cuttlefish color. Going over them, making sure they jump. That'll look good. Going to use some of this here, Cassandra Yellow, and it's a wash. I'm going to take it on the fine detail brush, and I'm just going to kind of make sure it gets into the cracks, because I would like to make sure the color stays in there. And we'll do it on this one. Do it on this one, because this will get down into the grooves as well. And I'm going over the purple, I'm not too worried about it. It's gonna deepen up the color just a little bit. This one's hard to see because it's mostly purple, but there's a little bit down at the corner. Okay, I'll let that sit for a second. We'll go back over and check out his chest. Get that remaining flesh wash and blap it on over here. He's so weird. He's so weird looking. His face is so extreme. Okay, I'm going to put the orange back with a wash at least. Make sure my brush is real clean, or else that yellow and the orange ink will get into my other colors. Take a quick drink of water. Okay, Shorty. How are we doing? Coming along. Okay, I'm going to go for a nice dark blue next. I think we're going to go with this one. Ultramarine blue. Just a little dab on the palette. If I can get this a little closer. And a think I'm going to still work with the detail brush. I think his vest is going to be this as a base. I am only trying to get the bits on the edge of the bristles. A little difficult to see down there, but you'll be able to see it over here. Not worried about covering the belt a little bit. That's fine. Again, we'll go back. We'll cover that up. That's the next stage up. Don't want to get it on the skin if I can avoid it. Again, just, you know, take it easy. Nice and smooth. If you have to go multiple times over an area with a color, that's okay. It doesn't take very long. Yes, so it's like a vest with a shirt under it. So I think I'm just going to get the collar and stuff in this open bit. Multiple collars. He's got more than one collar. That's one thing. He's a bro. He's double popping the collars. I'm also not worried about painting the strap for the loot. I'll get to that later. Maybe I won't do this blue, but I'm going to bring it up a stage anyway, just in case. I can always make the shirt a lighter shade of blue. Make sure I'm careful around the cuff area. I'm off camera, sorry. No rioting. All right, coming along. So now the question is, how far back do I need to get near his neck? I think the answer to that is pretty far back. It's got this little bit right back here that's bothering me, so I'm going to cover that. This is the edge of a shirt. I want to cover that. This is the edge of a shirt as well. And that's kind of the bottom of the shirt. That's looking a little better. This is the back of his hair. I don't know how I want to paint his hat. Not sure yet. Let's go in for a dark purple. Again, I really like this purple as well. Next, lichen. Don't need a whole lot of it. Just a little bit on the palette. Just get the tip of the brush in there. Kind of draw it out and roll it. He's got that tucked into his boots. So this might be the top of his boots, but I'll get that later. If it is, not too worried about it. Coming on through, getting the bit in the back. And again, this is actually relatively easy on this mini. The little sort of border flare design on the pant legs here. It has kind of a ridge, which lets me kind of use it as a guide and not necessarily get too close to the other colors. So I can get right in here like this, not worry too much about it. And I'm covering everything with my fingers. Sorry about that. Let me fix. There we go. Yeah, not bad. That'll do. That'll do. I got a little bit of purple on the edge of his vest, so I'm just going to cover it again real quick before I go on to anything else. Right at the lip. Right there. But that's it. I think otherwise we're in pretty good shape. We are looking pretty good. I believe all of these are dry. Let's go with the squid pink. here. Very pink. Make sure this is a very, very fine point if I can get it. Then all of these crazy purples that we did the quick wash over, gonna hit with the pink. Try and accentuate the fact that they're diamond shaped. Oh, you know what? Might be too much. That might be too much because it's going to blend in with that yellow. So before we go anywhere else, let's fix that, because that's going to mute the yellow out pretty hard. I think the darker color has to happen in there. Or else it's just not gonna work. Okay. If I can go back in and kind of touch this up a tad. I think that'll be okay. Just gonna tap it a little bit, get a little bit of the original color back on it, because we did do that sort of wash that changed it slightly. I think we'll be all right. Get it into the corners. Just barely touching. It's almost like we're taking a little drop of the paint and we're trying to put it on top. Yeah, that's good. There we go. That looks great. That looks great. I like it. All right. Next up, I'm going to mix. I'm going to take this purple and this darker purple, and I'm just going to blend them together right here in the middle, because I want a medium color as a highlight for the pants. Primarily the upraise sections. Back, back, back. And we will make this a little brighter as we go. I'm not going to get all the way in, I'm just going to get the edge that's right here. We'll leave the center parts darker. And I'm not going to go underneath. So I'm just going to get this bit. I'm going to leave that bit darker. So the top is the lighter part, and a little bit right here. A little bit right here. I'm just going to touch this bit right there. Stick the brush in, get that corner. Okay. It's a little hard to see right now, but we're going to keep going. Except we're going to keep it a lighter color. Accentuate the package. Gonna get all of this. So there's a couple of little ridges in here that I'm trying to pick up, like folds in the pants and stuff that I don't necessarily want to be completely smooth. And we'll get this corner because it's sticking out. And we'll get down here. There we go. And let's take some of this pink and mix it with this. Because I'd like it to get to that sort of extreme pink. So maybe I'll use it for highlights. So let's go, I need a finer point than that. And we'll do, give it some texture. Get it right down here. Couple of spots. Real gentle. Just gonna hit some of the little tiny folds. I'm doing kind of a side motion instead of a down motion to sort of imply a little bit of threading or something. So instead of dragging it downwards, I'm just kind of going to the side in little bitty dags. See how that looks? Like that. There. Satisfied with those pants. All right. So that blue needs to come up a little bit. And I think I'm going to go to the Army Painter. I'm going to grab this electric blue. we're going to grab the electric blue. Make sure it's nice and mixed. And we're going to mix that with the ultramarines right here. And we're going to do a similar thing as what we just did with that purple. So we're going to go through and bring some of this up with some texture. The sleeves are a bit folded, a little bit rolled up. So what I want to do is I want to make that stand out by hitting a lot of the upraised sections and not necessarily getting too deep into it. I just want it to be easy to see. I think that's the shoulder strap of his vest. So this is coming way up. This is going to be the sleeve of his shirt. So this is going to come up to almost white. Under here and on the collar, I might go back. But we're going to make sure I get a bunch of the highlight sections done. Leave that cuff darker, I think, but I want to hit the ridge. Back. It's the strap of the guitar, or the lute. And then the sleeve has a lot of folds in it that I'm going to cover. Upraise bits, because we're going to start bringing this shirt to a very light color. So I can be pretty liberal with the blue on the sleeves to start with. Let's get this part right here. This is going to be nice and wet because I'm trying to get up into spots that are kind of undershirt, but I want it to be a little bit more wet so that it fades after it dries. Down under here. This can be complete. This is cuff. Get up under the sleeve. Make sure that's covered. We're going to get the top of his sleeve on this side that's close to his head. Make sure this is colored. And does that strap, where does it go? Okay, so it's definitely up under and over this shirt. Coming along. Okay. A little slow there, Al. I think that was off for a while, although I probably missed it entirely. Okay. Hands are looking all right. I think he's going to have black hair. He's got those weird little sideburns going on. God, his eyes are so freaking weird. Okay. And I'm gonna, now that that's dry, I'm gonna get down to the bright yellow. So this is gonna go on, I'm gonna dab those little diamonds with it. I gotta be careful because this is super watery. So I'm not even gonna take any water from the palette, from my wash cup. I'm just gonna get it on the brush. And I'm just, even that's too much. Hold on. I got it all over my hand. Okay, so we're just gonna touch each of the yellow spots briefly to bring it up just a tiny bit because it needs to be very, very bright. Gotta be careful because this stuff, yellows in pretty much any paint line can be super picky. Yellows in a really small area, even more so. You got to be very careful. Trying to make sure this is still diamond shaped. Yeah, I think we're okay. I do believe his hat is going to also be very purple. So let's see. Hat, where does hat stop and hair start? Weird, like it's not a it's supposed to be a beret. I'm sure it's supposed to be some sort of beret, but it's like a sack. What I should do is I should paint it so it looks like a hairnet. Is that completely covered? Alright, this is going to be a tricky one because I gotta get it underneath the arm. Yeah, I got some on the arm. It's alright. It's okay. Still have that color mixed because of the wet palette. So I can just go back, fix it real quick. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Let me get my matte black. Again, this is the Army Painter matte black. I only need a little teeny bit of it. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of come down next to his face in front of his ear. Get that weird little curl. Make sure I get underneath near his forehead, but not on his forehead. And up under here. Above his ear. And then down here. On this little sideburn. And then I gotta make sure the brush tucks in so I can pick up this little tiny line right here. Under his hat, above his shirt collar. And we'll get this little bit that sticks out. Guess he's got a ponytail. Because apparently all musicians have to have ponytails. I need to get the bottom of this one. It's better. All right, where else can I put yellow? Oh, you think what I'm thinking? Yes. Yes, yes. That little undershirt he's got, that's where we're putting the yellow. That's where the yellow needs to be. I'm going to base it with orange. I'll work up from there. Orange is a little thick, so let's give it a little bit of a rinse down. We'll make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, so undershirt, undershirt, undershirt only the undershirt. Don't get it on the vest. Don't get it on the vest. He had too much blue up top. He needed more color. All right, let's get back over here. Make sure it is very thoroughly orange. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to grab this other sleeve first before I get to the inner collar. And like I said, it's okay to change your mind halfway through. I looked back over to my cuttlefish picture and went, where's my orange? Where's my bright yellow? Just in the diamonds? No, 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 no. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. There must be more. Let's get up under the armpit. Be careful around this vest section, because I don't want that to get on the vest itself. To hold them upside down, you gotta do it kind of gently so you don't squish the spots you've already painted in the event that it's a little soft. Sometimes that happens. A little bit more because I need to get the collar on the inside. So this one right here. And then this bit of shirt that sticks out. And then this bit of shirt. And a little tiny bit that's tucked in here. Like he's got a weird outfit, but we'll work with it. There we go. Get all the weird little points.
That's better.
Okay. So we're going to grab some of that sunburst yellow. I'm going to mix it with the orange a little bit. I'm going to bring this color up to a highlight. And we're going to stage it up quite a bit. I'm going to use the rest of this. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit those sleeves again. Slowly brighten it up. Because you can be a little too heavy-handed when it comes to yellows if you're not careful. Get the folds. Leave the underneath. Oh yeah, I'm going to get under here mostly. And then we're going to flip it around to the back and get all of this stuff. Gonna work it up to that bright yellow very slowly. But we will get there. Okay. Gonna go. Actually, I'm going to grab a little bit more of that yellow. That gold yellow's got to go back on. I need a little bit more. Let's hit the edge of this collar. So a little too much on that brush. And we'll hit this part right here. Come down in front. Get a couple of these sections and then the tip of that bit. And then I'm going to go across the top of the sleeve. Start getting mostly the upraised sections and the upraised portion of this cuff. Get the back here and the back of the cuff. Make sure the top is well covered because the top is going to be the lightest part. Then we'll start getting up here. I want to have a good amount on the brush so that it goes on smooth and doesn't look streaky. Sometimes you got to get in there and draw it the other way. Again, like I said, a couple of layers on the yellows is usually the best way to go because yellows can be very picky. You ever just put your elbow down on your desk in a way that kind of catches the funny bone? I just did that. It's uncomfortable. Okay. It's getting real bright. Getting real bright. Last stage, doing this yellow. This very, very pale yellow. And that is going to be the extreme highlight. So we're looking to get the corner of his shirt right here, a bit right here, little dabs in here, little corners in there, and obviously this part at the bottom because the sun is going to pick that up pretty quick. And then we're going to get upraised sections just the top. We're just going to go over the top. We're not going to go past halfway down around the sleeve, because that's going to be in shadow. We're just going to get these upraised parts right here. I don't want to go under more than halfway. Run it down the sleeve. Go a little bit onto the cuff. Go a little bit over here. But again, I want to mostly keep it up on top. Almost glazing it on. I'm keeping it very, very wet, and I'm not really bending the bristles. I'm just dragging the drop of paint around the edge. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get to his hat. His hat's got to come up with a couple of stages as well, but it's a larger and flatter space. So I can switch back over from the detail to the number 1. And I'm going to snag this paint right here. Make sure I have it nice and smooth on the brush. I'm going to leave sort of the crease around his hair where it dips under. I'm just painting down across the top. So as it curls under itself, I'm not worried about hitting that at all. I'm just worried about hitting the stuff that's basically upright. Oh, I'm out of the camera. Let that dry for just a second. You know what I need to do? Let me get this black. Let me get it very, very thin on the brush. Gonna get his eyebrows. Too much. Brush too big. Grab a little one. We have a problem. Okay, let me get back to that skin tone color real quick. I feel like this is going to be a little too bright. It might work out. A little too much, perhaps. Let's pull some of this away. Dry off the brush. Just do a gentle move right up above his eyebrow. I think I want to do the bronze flesh in there. Go back to the flesh wash real quick. I'm going to darken that up a little bit. Since I've got 2 layers, it should give us some staging to the shades, which will be nice. There we go. Make sure I get in between the fingers. I don't want that to be a reflection, I want that to be darker. Very bright. Okay. Weapons, leather straps, boots. Weapons, leather straps, and boots. Ugh. Obviously, we're going to do the... I think we're going to do the strap with black. I gotta get it. Where is that sucker? Belt buckles will stand out more against the black. Gotta be super gentle through here, because this is where that belt goes. Not bad. Not bad. Where's the rest of your belt, dude? I want the bristles going that way. The bristles on this brush have a little bit of a hook to them. So I'm trying to work with that to find where the belt needs to be. There we go. Really careful. There. Okay. Make sure that is all the way over. Yeah. And then we'll get the one that goes back around to the other side. There. Okay, and he's also got a strap for the sword. The sword was one of the, what are they called? One of the special artifacts, wasn't it? I swear it was. I think he used it once. But he was not a melee guy. He's going to get that top of that strap. And I've got, it's going to be hard to see it because it's up under here. There's a little bit more of it right next to his pant leg. Okay. That's good. Noticed a spot down here.
All right. I think he's looking pretty good so far. Looking pretty crazy, very bright. So let's get that loot done. All right. Gonna grab some of this one. Excuse me. Dark flesh tone from the Vallejo line. Drop it over here. Pick it up with my detail brush. And we're just going to be careful. I want to cover it, but I don't want to bump into any of the other parts that I've already painted. It's a pretty big surface though, so comparatively at least, shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to cover the strings because I can cover those later, and I want to make sure that the color of the instrument is true. It doesn't have a lot of leftovers from the undercoating. Got to be careful down here by the back of his hair. So I'm going to get the tip of it, just tuck it down under. Wrap it through. Be very careful around the yellow. Okay, looking good. Get all the way to the edge of the shirt. The vest. Just going to wrap it underneath there. Not bad. A little bit more, because I got to get under here. I got to tuck the bristles in right up against his jerkin.
right up against on the inside. I'm more tucking the paint in than brushing. And a little bit more for that. And I think, oh boy, you can kind of see it. Here we go. Okay, we're good. Up under his arm. I think I'm going to use a similar color for the sheath of the sword. And by similar, I mean the same. But I think that's going to come up. I'm going to bring the sword sheath up to more of a red. So I'm going to be careful down this way. But I'm going to use this as a base with the cap of the sword sheath in gold. Watch out for the pants. Okay. And it is a rapier. So let me get in here real quick, because that's going to be a little darker, but we'll go over the hilt with gold. Ultimately, I'm going to go back in and get some metallic details in. There we go. There we go. And obviously the belt matches the boots. So, one moment. Let me go back, get some more of that matte black. Wait a minute. Nah, those are boots. I almost thought those were like high socks and some little shoes. But no, they're boots. They're boots. I'm off camera. Sorry about that. Let's get down in here. Try and keep them low. Just get the boots nice and covered. Make sure it's all smooth. And do I leave the cuffs that purple? No, I think they need to be... the inside of the boots, they're folded over. Maybe they are purple. Yeah, maybe they are. So let's give those a highlight. Lovely. A little bit more over here. A little bit more under here. we go. I'll get the boots in a sec. Once we get to some of the other bits. Okay, so what I'm going to do is gonna highlight with this over that brown. But it's also going to let me make a blend color. And we're just going to mix them right together in between. Right there. That's all we want. We want a medium in between those two. So I go back and I'm going to take the edge of the brush and just kind of gently bring it along the outside of this. Let the bristles spread out just a little bit. This upper ridge. Just a little bit more down here, and I'm going to do a little bit on the curved part underneath right here. And we're going to get the top. And then when I go to the inside, I'm going to get the back of the neck, and I'm going to get the curve of the inside of the lute right here, but I'm not going to go too far down under. Okay. So stage 1, and we're going to hit the scabbard in a similar manner. Essentially doing the top half. Okay. Rinse that brush. Grab the lightest color. Roll the bristles as you pull it away, and then we're going to go here and just hit the corner, and the bit here, and a bit on the back of the neck. And we're going to go like this because he's got a couple of little dots. Sound holes. Get this corner. And I can even probably afford to bring that up a little bit more. And I'm going to hit the top part of the lute on the back. I'm going to hit the top part of the lute right here. Trying to give it some depth. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing what we did a second ago on the sword scabbard, just using the edge of the brush to grab that corner. Okay. I might even want to bring it up a tad more. So what do I have next? I used earth tone, yes. So what if I grab... Yeah, let's grab a little bone white. Grab a little bit of bone white. I'm going to drop that next to this one. And I'm going to mix that in just a little bit. And we're going to do some stream highlight on the edge. It's almost the same color as the parchment paper I'm mixing the paint on. Alright. Smooth the bristles down a little bit. They were a little bit splayed, and I'm just going to grab right here. right here, kind of on the edge of the back of the neck. Grab a little bit here and a little bit here. And we're going to poke that little sound hole, and I'm going to put a couple of little like hints of streaks in the actual body of it. And I'm going to make sure my brush is a little closer to being dry. Catch the edge of the neck and the edge of the body of the lute behind him like this, and then the tip. Sort of gently push it together so that it's got a bit of personality to it. And then I'll do the same thing on the edge of that scabbard. Very, very, very lightly. And I'm going to take a little bit of that mix, darken it just a touch, because I would like to imply some texture on this hilt. So we're going to go dab, dab. And then I'll grab it on the other side and I'll do a similar spot. There, right there. So that it has a little bit of a handle going on. And then I'm going to want to grab some gold. Is this gold still good? Nope. It's okay. I'm going to go for Glorious Gold. And we're going to tuck it over in the corner. Get my detail brush, pop it back over here. Get a nice little glint on it. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to hit the hilt, because this sucker's got a basket hilt. We're just going to hit the basket hilt and the ring. And then we're going to cover the edge of the, I'm going to cover the scabbard cap. Okay, and then what my plan was on the pants, on the edging right here. What I want to do is get a little bit of gold. It's kind of an accent color for it. kind of just want it as like a tease color. I don't necessarily even want to make it super strong. Just want to bring it in as like a glint highlight. Sort of draw a little bit of attention to it. So it's got a little tiny bit of gold on it. So it's not super strong metallic, but it has a little bit of glint. So it sort of shows up a little. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then the belt buckle, obviously. And there's a couple of clasps back here. Okay, now I'm going to get the flute that he's got. I feel like I should make the joke about painting it flesh colored. So I just did. You can take that joke and run with it in your own head. I don't upload this as a thank you. Thank you, Naf. Almost done. Overrunning a little bit, but on Tuesdays I can kind of do that because I'm not going to bump into the Critical Role episode. So I'd like to get him basically painted. All right. He does, I noticed, have belt loops. So let me hit those real quick. Belt loop. Belt loop. I think this one actually is a belt loop. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. And let me see. I want the strings to stand out just a little. So what I'm going to do is what I did with the cloth. I'm going to do it with the strings. Kind of almost a gold dry brushing. Very, very, very gently. It's not working the way I want it to. We'll do a wash to make sure that they're all separate. And the frets. And the tuning pegs. That looks all right. That looks all right. I can deal with it. Hold on a second. Let me get this very watered down because I put a little bit of a black speck on his nose. All right. Gonna highlight the black with a little bit of cold gray. Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, the flamboyant cuttlefish works. So, I mean, if it works in nature, I should be able to get it to work on a tiny little guy. All right, gonna take my fine brush, my detail brush here, and I am going to get a bit of this gray on it, and we're going to do a couple of little tiny dashes. Oh, actually, I might mix it a little bit with the black. There we go. That's better. That's closer to what I'm looking for. And get on the boot. Get on the other side of the boot. Okay, so, and then I'm going to hit this strap right here and the edge of this belt. And then I'm going to get the shoulder strap right up at the top. Going to get it on the corner here. Going to get the top of his belt a little bit. Get it where it meets. Put another little tiny dash right here. And then I'm going to take some of that black back and I'm going to mix it with this blue. Because I'm going to use this as the highlight color for his hair instead of gray. Because I'd prefer it to be more of a blue kind of black hair. So we're going to try it right there on the top. And we're going to get the ponytail on the top. And then I'm going to go back a little bit more of the blue. Mix it a little bit more in. And I'm going to do some really fine, probably too wet on the brush right now. Let's go. Just a little bit better. Bip, bip. Let me take a tiny bit of this super light blue. Just on the edges of his coat. I want it to be a little bit lighter at the bottom. Because now I can afford a little bit more since this shirt isn't white. So what do you think, Delirium? You like them? Is that good enough? I'll get the base a little bit later. We're running a little long tonight. However, I think the rest of him is basically done. And there we go. Ooh, I might need to hit the head with a little bit more of that very bright purple. Oh no, come back. Come back. This should do well. There we go. That's better. I need it a little bit lighter up on the top. Yeah, I figured if they went to white, it wouldn't have done it justice. Like it had to be something contrasting, and yellow and blue work well together. So there we go. Oh, not done. Not done. Is this my black? Just occurred to me that I colored the flute, but I just put gold on it. I mean, can't just leave it gold. To give it some sort of depth. Ink washes on metals are very useful because that's going to be a lot nicer. There we go. And the belt buckle. Hello, belt buckle. Basket hilt. And down here, I'm going to do the whole scabbard. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Alright. Scanlan Shortholt alternate color scheme complete. I can't put them back that far, but there we go. So, him and Pike can hang out. I'm fairly certain that he must have given her this scarf as a favor, as his favor, and she's just wearing it. Just patience. Patience and a couple of techniques. A little overbrushing, a little dry brushing, a little ink washing, little bit of layered colors. It works out pretty well. So yeah.
Oh, my arm is covered. I got it all over the place. Got paint all over my hand.
So yeah. On Thursday, I'll move on to the next one. The next one is either going to be I think I'm going to do Percy or Keyleth, one of the two. I'll decide tomorrow, and we'll work on it from there. Keyleth could be interesting. I'm thinking I might do her in a winter paint scheme. So she'll be all blues and whites and icy. So that should be kind of cool. And then we'll figure out Percy. Maybe I'll make Percy look like a crazy highwayman, and we'll make him in a black cloak or a black coat. And we'll do some weathering on it. So it's got mud around the edges like he's been traveling a lot. So we'll do Keyleth in the winter colors. We'll do Percy as a highwayman bandit. And then we'll move on to Terry and Dodie after that. So have a fantastic evening. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you again on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern when I either start on Percy the Highwayman or Keyleth the Winter Druid. Have a fantastic evening. Talk to you guys later.